countdown begins. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to Ask a Painter Live. I am Nick Slavic. I am the proprietor of the Nick Slavic Painting and Restoration Company, also the host of this show, Ask a Painter Live. It is a weekly live Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram show. Instagram just caught the feed. I'm going to hit some buttons right here. Okay, we are live on Instagram now here too. I see the comments populating. We made it all up. We had to, I didn't see Instagram fire up, and I know that, weirdly enough, Ask a Painter, the live viewership is typically way higher on Instagram than it is on Facebook. So just one of those weird things. Got to keep that feed going. So, all right, everybody, special guest here today, Amzi Bock. We're going to get to you in just a second, my friend. But first, we got to do a little housekeeping here. So, number one, you guys know that typically this is the time of year that I do Mastering the Basics. It's a series of 8 shows where I go through all 8 steps in order, starting with proven process, ending with self-development, production, estimating, marketing, financials, building a team, all that good stuff. There is a show. There's a whole bunch of resources right next to it. So you guys will see this is the actual thing when you click on the link in the show. There is a show, Mastering the Basics #1 Proven Processes, and then there are the templates associated with each show. So now you get how to make an SOP, how to make a full SOP, all my SOPs, and then the slides from that actual show. So it's all there for you. And I believe, I was just working with somebody else this last week, I believe you can even download the dang video as well too. So it's all there for you guys. This is the time of year that we do this stuff. Amzi and I are big fans of this sort of stuff, professionalizing your business. We work on this stuff all the time. This is the thing that I wish I would have had. It's way less content, it's way more education, and it's here for you. It's exactly how I did it. It's how people like Amzi do it. It's how people like all the people at the PCA do it. So, all right. Final thing before we get to Amzi is PCA Expo. That's our Super Bowl of the industry. There's going to be 1,500 people in Orlando, backed by popular demand, and we're going to have 3 days of education, an in-person board of directors meeting, a charity paint project where there's probably going to be 150 painting companies there all at once, and I get the pleasure of project managing it, the entire thing. In the past, it's been described as project micromanaging, but congrats, that's what you get. You get free project management from me on that one, and I love it. So one of the highlights of this charity event is last year, I got to take Christian from Moose Painting, the Moose Painting, and Zach from ZK Painting, the Zach Kenny. I made them a crew, and I told them what to do. What other times in your life could you ever be in a position to tell those guys what to do except for that? So that's what makes the PCA special, Amzi. I know we're big fans. You're a huge fan of community. I'm a fan of community. My life has been open up since then. Community. What are your thoughts, my friend?
Absolutely vital. And, I think the life of an entrepreneur, and I'm speaking as you know exactly how I'm going to go with this, but life of an entrepreneur can feel lonely. You can feel isolated because, if you take maybe your top 10 friends that aren't, let's just say before you owned a business and when you start one, I knew very little to anybody that understood what I was even talking about when I was like, I just landed a job. I just landed this big house. And they're like, that's cool. And they don't know anything about it. And so, and they don't have to. It's like they're not business owners. They don't have to know what that's like. So community, I just feel like is vital. I have felt lonely in my business for a number of years. And then, just to get right into the PCA or the Ask a Painter retreat or going to the PCA events, those things have been, I said this at the retreat this earlier this month, just absolutely life-changing for my professional life, but also separate from my professional life. I've gained some of the best friends, and just the to be able to look around the room and for people to say, yeah, I've been there too. And you're not alone in this, because within community or without community, it's easy to think I'm the only one going through this. I'm the only one that has high turnover. I'm the only one that the customers cuss out. It's like, and then you look around the room and from all the businesses represented, from lower numbers all the way up to higher numbers, and all of them is just a resounding, yes, we've been there too. That's been so huge for my life because I feel like years ago, people sharing information in the painting world was like hush hush. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh, you don't talk about it. If you mention what's your square footage price, people are whispering it in Sherwin-Williams and they're afraid to say it. And I just feel like through the Ask a Painter show and through people like you making this content so readily available to people, I'm noticing just even conversations in my paint community here in New Albany, Indiana, people are just so open now to talk about stuff.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
it's
exactly
just
it,
so
man.
important.
And
Yeah.
the entire industry is changing. There's way and way more Amzis than there are not Amzis out there. And speaking of which, what do we got to know about you, man? Where you living? What you doing? What's the family look like? Why don't you give some people some information before we just go off on the rails here somewhere else?
Sure, sure. I'm here in southern Indiana, in New Albany, Indiana. So we're like, if you know your maps, right above Louisville, Kentucky. So we're like 15 minutes north there. So we all call it kind of Kentuckiana here in this area. I started in 2018. I was a contractor, built houses, and on a crew that we actually do all their painting now. Did that for 5 years and learned a whole lot. A whole lot. Even just thinking back now, listening to the guy who was my employer, listen to his cell phone conversations. Now I ask a lot of the same questions in my business now. Like how soon are you wanting this work done, kind of a thing. But yeah, started in 2018. Did the first 3.5 years just absolutely grinding it out, just like we all did, working until midnight. I remember one time it was 12:30 at night. My wife texted me and she's like, are you coming home sometime soon? I just thought to myself, what am I doing? And so I think, doing those big historic exterior homes, I've done two of them, and you're just out there scraping in the hot sun by yourself. But then it was just kind of the process of the big hurdle, like, oh my gosh, can I hire somebody? Like, what would that
Yeah.
look like? And then you hire that person, and then they don't work out, and then you hire
Yep.
and then fire, and then hire and fire, and then you get one that sticks, and then you start looking at professionalizing yourself, which I have been on a long journey of that, and then you get people that stick. So yeah, here we are 8 years later, and doing really well. Still have so much to learn, and again, that's why I'm so thankful for this community because I can ask you all for free information anytime I need it. Um, I ask you for personal loans. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, and then I have my wife, Jessica, and three boys, Silas,
Mm.
Uriah, and Reuben. And we have a little mini farm here in New Albany, just really close to town. We got some chickens and goats and
Hold on. When you
a lot of
say some
trees.
chickens, you have lots of chickens, don't you?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we had about 125 at one point, which really, when you look out there at them, it doesn't really feel like that many. But I think we got about 90 now and some ducks. But
Jeez.
it feels
You
small, to be honest.
Dude, you are a chicken rancher. That's not a hobby
Yeah, it's
anymore. Like
true.
you have, when you're into the three digits of animals, that's an
Yeah,
operation.
that's true. We were getting about 53 eggs a day at one point.
My
So
Lord. And we just lost Amzi. That's okay. Might have hit a button, might have lost connection. We'll wait for him to get back on here though. But Amzi shared with me a very interesting story and goal about his chicken ranch, which I will call it, when he was at the retreat a couple weeks ago, and I will see if he will share that with all of us too. So we'll just wait for Amzi to reconnect here. I'm just waiting for him in the kind of green room, waiting room down here. But otherwise, this is a great time to say thank you guys for watching. It is like -17 hard temperature here. The wind chill's crazy. It's just one of those good old fashioned Minnesota winters here. All my kids, it's so cold. There's not even that much snow out here. The cold canceled all of the school today. So I got all my kids distance learning here, just like we're back in the old COVID days. And, we're probably all holing up. We're probably all just hanging out with our families, working on our businesses as we do at this time of the year. And again, I will put in a plug for the PCA Expo. And I will put in a plug for Mastering the Basics, the series of the 8 videos, 20 templates, and you get my personal email address with that thing too. So I've done Mastering the Basics for 5, 6, 7 years now, and I've curated these shows. Every year I update them with all my own data, all this other stuff, and now I just put them in a place where you can just peruse them at your when you're able to. All right, I see Amzi down here below. Let's pull him. Oh, there he is. I thought you just got sick of me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was like, I've said what I need to say. I'm done here.
No, drop the
I
mic
have no
and get
clue
the
what
heck out of
happened.
here.
Okay, so you wanted me to share about my goal for our we call it Goshen, our farm.
If you're, you call your farm's got a name, Goshen.
Yeah, we call it Goshen. kind of a biblical context, the land outside of Egypt where all the storms and plagues went through, it was just considered a safe place, a protected place. And so that's what
Oh,
we consider it that. But there's a place close to us called Goshen, Indiana. And people are like, did you move? It's like, no,
oh.
we call our farm that.
Okay, so you told me this is what I love about entrepreneurs. We can make a challenge, a competition, or a business out of everything we touch. And if you don't mind sharing, tell me your chicken goal.
Okay. So when we moved from our small house to a little bit of a bigger house where we're at, my wife and I are like, hey, what can we do to supplement our income outside of our painting business? Because I've got like 10 different business ideas that I'd love to start. And so we were like, okay, we started getting 53 eggs a day. Like, we have to sell these. And so we came up with this goal of, let us see if we can pay our house mortgage every month with the sale of chicken eggs. Now, we've done the math on it. I don't remember it at the moment, but we've not made enough in a month. I think we made about 500 or 600 at one point, but not bad. Selling them for $5 a dozen, so that'd be a goal.
That is great. And as entrepreneurs do, you mentioned that in passing as like, here's another thing I'm going to do. Meanwhile, that would be the life's work for most human beings, and they would the weight of that project would just crush them, or they wouldn't even start. And you're just like, yeah, there's got a whole bunch of other stuff going on, and I'll probably just do that too, And I think we came up with you had to sell, I don't know, something between 5 and 14 dozen eggs a day or something like that in order to
I think so.
Which
there's people that do it.
It's a lot, but it's like it's not 1,100 dozen a day,
Right. Yeah. Well, at one point we had 30 dozen eggs in our refrigerator. So
my Lord. Wow. Okay, so let's start. I just want to touch on one more background thing, if you don't mind. You and I both share background, military service, yes?
Yep.
So you're actively not eating crayons right now, but you claim to be a Marine. So how does that work?
So actually, I ate all my crayons before I got on here. But no, actually, I was in the Army, actually, not the Marine Corps.
Do the Marine. You were Army, not Marines?
Yeah. I was just as goofy as you are. So,
oh, dude, I have an incorrect memory that I always pegged you for a Marine. Maybe it's because you're about 8 inches taller than me and you got these really wide shoulders. So. I'm sorry about that.
My brother was in the Marine Corps. My little brother was in the Army with me. So,
yeah. And what did you do? Where did you serve? When did you serve? And reflections on that time.
I'll go through the timeline super quick. 2007, I graduated. I had 1 month off. Went to boot camp and my job school for 4 months total. Came back from boot camp for a month. Showed up to my unit the very first day, and they're all packing bags for Iraq. And I was like, oh, I signed up actually for disaster relief, helping out with floods and cutting down trees after tornadoes. So we packed our bags instantly. We went to Germany and then to Kuwait, and then for all the train up, and then we were in Iraq like very quickly. I was a gunner on a Humvee. We did that for 8 months, 21 days, 88 combat missions. Took small arms fire, found roadside bombs. 2 of them blew up on our convoy, but everybody's okay. That's good. But yeah, got out of that in 2012 and started working as a carpenter until I started my painting business.
Dude, love it, man. And guys like you and me, we got some life experience behind us. We got a pile of kids. We got some business and stuff like that. Yeah. How does that time inform or not inform what you do now between family and business?
Oh man, I feel like when I went into the service, I was just kind of like squirrel brain. So like squirrel play, and just chased everything. I feel like the military really shaped me and sharpened me kind of to a place where I needed to be. But just the life experiences, being 19 years old in a different country. Yeah. With 3 machine guns at my disposal, a Mark 19 grenade launcher, a 50 cal machine gun, a 240 Bravo machine gun, my rifle down here, I think it causes us to grow up pretty quickly.
You could make that argument.
Yeah. One could say that. And so then over the years, my worst day now could be compared to my worst day over there, and it's like, hey, this is not so bad here now. But hey, I see John just popped up. Hey, John.
Oh, I had to throw John's comment up here. Did you know John Steidliger before the retreat a couple weeks ago?
No, okay, but I'm thrilled I know him now.
I didn't either. Besides, I follow him online and all this other stuff. And in the interview process, like literally couldn't be more impressed with that guy. He walked
Absolutely.
away with the retreat with the nickname The Preacher because
Yeah, you did.
his tone of voice and the cadence and the words he said, he was like, are we in a
Yes.
sermon here? Like, that's the
Yes.
wisest thing I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Also, very experienced rapper, and I have been listening to his music on Spotify, which again,
Yeah, same.
crazy world we live in.
Yes. Multi-talented for sure he is.
Multi-talented. So, in the painting business, what was, if you had to summarize the year of 2025, what was the year of 2025 for you and your business?
Oh, I want to say like 3 different words all at once, but
Oh, use as many as you like.
okay. Self-growth, self-discovery. I think the biggest word would be I felt so stretched. Like everything I thought I knew, it's like was challenged. And at the retreat, you talked about deep sparring. And could you explain that deep sparring thought real quick?
Dude, so every once in a while you do something for decades of your life, and then you hear somebody else describe it in a beautiful, succinct, non-interpretable term, and you're like, that's exactly what I do. And you've probably heard me, everybody at the retreat has heard me before say, understand this about me. I learn by arguing. So I'm going to argue. I don't know which side yet. I can be given a side, I can take a side, but I'm going to
Sure.
argue, and it's going to get emotional. And at the end of it, I'm going to learn something, and I will take whatever there. That is deep sparring. And
Yes.
so between the retreat and between arguing with friends and all this other stuff, that's how I learn. Turns out that's a scientific thing that intellectuals do. Like I brought up the example of the, what is it? Theoretic physicists, the dudes who try to
Yes.
think about black hole, like crap nobody's seen, but these guys know exactly with
Yeah.
math what it looks like.
Yeah.
They get together at some weird location and they deep spar, they argue intellectually, and that's what we did.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that year, 2025, I did the retreat in 2025 with you guys. I know I keep coming back to the retreat, but nothing has helped shape my business like the retreat has.
Dude.
The deep sparring that we go through, you go and you present problems in your business, things, mental things you can't get over, personal/business, but everybody knows as an entrepreneur, both those things are together. And you say, hey, I have these issues, and everybody, it's like a slap and a kiss at the same time. It's I have these issues, help me with these. And everybody, they poke holes in it. It's deep sparring. There's encouragement. There's, hey, you can do this. Hey, you belong here. And that right there caused me to say in 2025, it's okay for me to do these things. I'm not an imposter. I'm not trying to be somebody that I'm not, even though we heard this year, it seemed like I had some of the same issues from last year. But I will say, I felt like, and I'm not even kidding, at the Ask this year, I felt like I grew very quickly in 1 hour.
I will tell you
And
this, man.
yeah,
I've seen so many asks now. We've had, over and under 17 people for 11 retreats. So I mean, you might say I'm knocking on the door of 200 asks, my
yeah,
own and seeing other people. And there was a reason that I put you were on the first night, right?
yep. Thanks for
Yeah.
that.
So
No,
there's a
I
reason.
was happy to.
Well, so
Yeah,
there's either 2 or 3 of those on the first night, and I always stack it with MVPs. And you've only been to 1 retreat. Typically, that's reserved for
sure,
a Chris Mole 8 retreats, a Rob Lenzen 9 retreats, a Matt Kuiper 9.
sure.
Typically, it's reserved for that. But since we've stayed in contact since your first ask, couldn't have been more impressed with stuff. And you have this
Appreciate it.
you claim to have imposter syndrome, which all of us suffer from in some degree, but
Hmm.
it doesn't feel like it. And a lot of the things you
Sure.
say and do don't make us feel like that. But you had one of, I mean, the biggest bit of comic relief I think I've ever had at a retreat was you, you,
I know where you're
your big
going.
ask was like, how do I get over imposter syndrome? Or no, you said, I am over
I
imposter syndrome. And then you
Yeah.
said, here are the 3 things I'm suffering from. You couldn't have defined imposter syndrome more
It was
succinctly.
like
Like you literally,
guilt, not celebrating wins, and feeling inadequate for where I need to go. And then Matt Kuiper was like, so basically, you're not over imposter syndrome. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Merriam-Webster could not define it more succinctly than you're like, so seeing that I've completely conquered this thing. Dude, and
Yeah.
listen, and that comes from a place of love, because that is
Yeah.
the
Just keep
greatest thing on
sparring.
earth. Because what I did not see is somebody who didn't understand what was going on. I didn't even see somebody suffering from imposter syndrome. I've sat through a million of these things. And
Hmm.
what I saw is somebody in the final dying gasps of just being cool with not being an imposter.
Yeah,
It's like
you're
you
right.
almost felt like, into the universe, into this group of people, you needed to humble yourself and say, I'm not worthy, or something like this, even though
Sure.
you are. And
Yeah.
I believe that you've come the farthest, the quickest I've ever seen anybody go from, I
Hmm.
think I truly do suffer from imposter syndrome, to we've made great headway and I'm actually in a healthy place.
Yeah, I appreciate that big time. That means a lot to me. So
And
yeah, that was
so,
really funny though. I agree. The whole room, as soon as I said it, Matt Kuiper goes, "Well, what is your ask?" And I wrote them down, and the whole room's like, "You still have it." Everybody was laughing and clapping, and I just
it
had to
is.
take it for about 20 seconds.
That's what it's for. And you know what? I've seen some people. There's the true self, and then there's the mask. I've seen a lot of
Mm,
mask asks where, well, hold on, there's something here. You keep talking, but there's what
yeah.
you're telling us is not the ask, and we'll get to it. Maggie Kuiper will get to it. She'll find it in there.
Yes. Yes,
And
she
that
will.
was truth. Like that, even though the words you wrote down did not line up with that was a moment of truth, and that was a really cool sort of thing. So kudos to
Yeah.
you. And yeah, I that is an ask I will not forget anytime soon.
Me neither.
So you had a big year in 2025. As
Mhm.
far as like the clinical day-to-day business stuff, um, what have you been working on? What are you working on? What takes up most of your headspace right now when we're just talking about connecting
Mhm.
dots, finding success?
Yeah, so I came off the brush 4 months ago, and first time in my
Mm,
business that I've ever done that. Even when I
huge.
first started to hire people, I might leave at 2:30 or 3 and be like, "Oh, I hope they're going to be okay." But I have a wonderful crew. Um,
Yeah.
People, every business owner wants a crew of people that treat their business like it's their own. And I have a group that really does care. Some really care, and the other ones just care. And I appreciate that. But so we brought on Elite Business Advisors, Chris Moore. He's the owner of that, and I met him at the retreat. He was my bunkie, so we
Yep.
call each other bunkies. He's my bunkie, he's my friend, and then he's my advisor. We have that in their proper places. But Stuart, his one of his guys that works with him, is my advisor. And you talk all the time, Nick, about data plus feelings. For 7 years, I was Mr. Feelings, zero
Mm,
data to back it up. So we would finish a large project, and I'd be like, yeah, I think we did pretty good on that. And
great
so for the
success.
past, yeah, great success. And so the past 4 months, um, I've heard about job costing a million times. There was a
Mm,
few key parts to it that I never felt like I had the right info on. So I thought, if I do this job costing, it's not even going to be correct anyway. I'm gonna I'm gonna give myself a false this is good, or a false this is bad. And so just having someone say, this is exactly how you do it, and walk me through it. So that's been I. So job costing is not even a question for me anymore. I understand how to
love it.
do it. But just all the steps to making myself a professional company. Painting is now, for me personally, is the easiest thing that I do. It is absolutely the easiest thing. Is it challenging? Sure. Is there sweat involved in it a lot of
Yeah.
times? Yes. But it's when it comes to managing human beings, decent human beings, that's the part now that I feel like I've had to go back to college recently. Like I'm back in university, taking business owning 101 kind of a thing. And so taking all the things I've learned from our group, that, kind of our network of people that we talk to. But so yeah, job costing, onboarding. I think I messaged you about
Mm,
onboarding. You had emailed me
yeah.
some stuff. We got a guy that one of my lead painter, Kara, she's good friends with. Apparently, he's a team player, easy to get along with. So we need to hire somebody. We need to hire somebody quick for where we're going this
Right.
year. And I wanted to be sure. I have an onboarding process actually written down, and that before I had messaged you, but there was all the follow up. Like, in your first month, what am I looking for? All these
Yeah.
KPIs, key performance indicators, that I never had any way to track them. And hey, good to see you too, Jack. I see Jack's on here.
There he is.
Hey, I think hold on, it's still work hours, Jack. I don't know why you're on social media right now, but
Well, his school got canceled today, so he just
oh, that's true. Oh, hey, and it's Friday. It's Friday. I forgot
and it's
The Nick
Friday, and
Slavic
we
way.
all forget that my young high-speed Jack is a college kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, just all those steps to the things I hear at PCA, the things I hear here on social media, and I think like, oh man, I wish I could do that. Like I know I need to do that. I've been doing those things lately, and they've been dominating my time, but in the absolute best kind of way. I know how to work on an Excel spreadsheet now, and I've never done that before in my life, pretty much. But and we just brought on Paint Scout, partnered with them actually just a week ago, and I'm still. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just still putting together presentations right now in watching all the walkthrough videos on YouTube, and I have our CSM. She's helping me, so spending a lot of time doing that. And one thing that I've been thankful for is explaining that to my paint crew because I have been on the brush, on the tools, 6 a.m. till 4:30 plus every day. And now that I'm doing this, people start to kind of go, well, where is he? And so just explaining that to them and show them, hey, me doing this is making this company better, which is going to be raises and incentives and a wonderful place to work for you all, and just job security. With what I've been doing lately, this all these tasks and roles that I'm doing are 100% my job to do. And so talking about feeling stretched and like, oh my gosh, if I don't do these, my painters aren't going to do them.
No.
So that's why I feel like, okay, I'm back. I'm paying for school again. I'm back in college, but it's been wonderful. I know almost all my numbers now on just about anything I need to know. But I have so far to go, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's the same thing. And back to school is like, when you sit in the room with like a bunch of the retreaters there, you see people. I mean, this is my 34th year in the industry. You see people like Matt and
Wow.
Maggie, you see people like Jason, you see people who have gone down the road of either time or levels of success or sophistication or complication. And still, I mean, there's no more curious mind than Maggie and Matt Kuiper. They're
Absolutely.
constantly learning. And it's really interesting because yesterday, my mentor just man and I when people think about me, they typically think about standard operating procedures and job costing, so like the data and the
Yeah.
feelings and stuff. I just
Yeah.
got challenged and introduced to a whole nother level of financial sophistication that now I have an assignment from my mentor college professor to do for next week, which
Okay.
is 12
Yeah.
month trailing P&Ls for every single month of the year, going back a year. And so I think I understand about 40% of what he's asking me to do. I'll figure
Yeah.
out the
Yeah.
rest in between. But after job costing, then is kind of like P&L. And then after P&L, it's budgets. And then it's a little bit of cash flow. Then it's balance sheets. And then it's forecasting. And then now you get into stuff that I thought I was at the top of the pyramid of financial sophistication. Turns out we've only scratched the surface. So I'll be really looking forward to this. But no,
Yeah.
just to iterate what you're saying is like,
Mhm.
now you keep adding these levels of sophistication here because there's problems that show up and you're trying to find ways to solve them. And we're not the first
Mhm.
ones to ever have these problems. And there's a
Mm-mm.
whole mess of stuff out there. We just haven't encountered it yet.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
so,
and the
oh, go ahead.
goal with where we're going is when it comes to onboarding or a sales process, what I've been learning is that if I don't know how to do it, then I can't train a
Yeah.
PM that I'm going to bring on or the next salesperson I bring on. So my goal right now is to operate because I'm running PM and I'm running sales right now. So I have to have my SOPs down to where I know exactly how to teach them. Hey, what's up, John? I appreciate that. John's one of my favorite retreaters. We spent some good time in the hot tub
Oh,
together. And the van rides up there and back. And actually, John's given me some of my on in some of the questions I've asked him. So I really appreciate him. He's a good guy.
John's good for a good gut punch.
Absolutely.
I just got a little lag on your end. I'm just waiting to catch up here. I don't want to miss anything
Okay.
you're saying here. So, John,
Sure.
we're big fans of you, John. I don't think there's a day professionally where I don't talk to somebody else in this industry about John McFarland. He's kind of a weird enigma, kind of a guy, and we're all fans of his. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so now, having said that, we just lost Amzi on my end here. That's okay. We'll kind of, I will tread water until Amzi comes back here. Now is a good time. Everybody who's watching, we got a pile of people on Instagram, pile of people on Facebook. Share this to your feed, share this to your story, get this out there so we can find the next Amzi, the next John McFarland, the next Jack Gurman, and things like this. So Amzi is popping in and out just a little bit. I think what I heard is that Indiana, Kentucky, once it dips below 50 degrees, all their internet stops working. So we'll see if that's the
Right. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you now. Yep. There's a slight video lag, but we'll work through this stuff. So I will ask you a very simple question, and you take it from there, and hopefully our feeds will catch up here. So now, having said all that, pivotal year 2025. What is 2026 going to be the year of?
Good question. I feel like 2026 will be the year of systems being written and followed to a T. Stuff that I've never done before, stuff that I've known about, I've sort of known how to do, but this is the year to put those in place and be able to set the goals that I've heard about. You know, I try to be careful to not fall into the comparison trap. You know, you hear from all kinds of people. Social media is the worst about it, but setting systems in place and absolutely following these things. And I know in order for if we can talk numbers, we about 3 or 4 years ago we did 250. And then we did 261 the next year. And then the next year in 2024, we did 294. And I'm like, we're almost to 300. Let's go. And then this past year with putting some basic systems in place, very basic, and having good people, we had a good year. We hit 430 and our gross profit of 51%. Let's see, labor margins were at 29%, and our material costs were at 10%. And I'm thrilled about those. And I thought all this time that I was just I really did think I was absolutely failing in those, and I thought I would be super high in all those areas in the wrong kind of ways. But yeah, so the goal this year is we're throwing out a goal to reach 750. If that happens, awesome. If we get close to it, that's fantastic too. And so I understand in order. Yeah.
Oh, so what has to happen for you to hit that goal this year?
So I need to hire 2 lead painters. Each person in our company each month represents, from what I have read and studied and understand, about $10,000. And so in order to reach that number, I have to turn over PM to Kara. We're planning to do that by March. Kara is our lead painter, but I also understand if I promote too many people on our team, if we promote internally, then I'm back to painting, and I'm not trying to do that. And so turning over to PM to Kara, actually, I enjoy PM and I enjoy sales, but I think I would, from what I've been told, sales is a little bit harder to turn over than PM. So I'm going to stick with sales for now. And I need to hire 2 lead painters and 1 or 2 laborers turn over PM. And that, according to the forecasting, that will get me there.
What things need to exist this year that, in order to hit that goal, that don't exist currently?
Much more consistency from me. So when it comes to the sales process, returning calls same day, estimate same day, follow-ups put in place that I have never done before. If I really wanted the job, I would text them a week later one time. But using Paint Scout, I'm really glad. And on the admin side, I don't love admin work. It does not spark joy for me whatsoever. But I understand that I'm the one that have to do it. So when it comes to Paint Scout, all those built-in reminders and things like that are going to help me in the area that I am kind of weak in, to be honest. But yeah, those things have to happen.
What's really interesting is that, as I sit here and it is literally so cold it would kill you outside. I hate to mention that I was in the Dominican Republic 48 hours ago, but I was in the Dominican Republic 48 hours ago doing master's classes.
I saw.
And one of the things that we talked about was, I talk simultaneously about how my business really only needs 10 to 12 hours a week of me. But then I also make sure to back it up with, you guys understand, I'll show you my org chart. There's a couple things that aren't covered: legal, HR, marketing manager, IT, vehicle maintenance. So like literally while I was sitting here talking about how my company only needs 10 to 12 hours of me, I had to schedule maintenance to fix a headlight on one of my vans. Why?
Yeah.
Whose job description is that? A project manager? Is that an
Right.
estimate? Is my estimator supposed to call and get a headlight? My painters certainly don't do that. So it's like
Right.
there's a trickle down effect of like this Plinko machine. And if you need law, if you need HR, if you need the marketing manager, if you need van maintenance,
Yeah.
if our toilet's clogged, I only do 10 to 12 hours. That's part of that 12 hours, you know? So it's like everything that isn't in their job description, super simple, still falls on us, whether we like it or not. It has to function.
Yep. Absolutely. Yes, it does.
What is something personally that might interact with your professional life that you were going to stop doing this year?
Well, I would say last year I did I put a stop to a couple things that are taking up a lot of time. I would say one thing. I talked to a guy that I met at the San Antonio PCA. Last name was Hayes, Chrissy Hayes, and I think his name is Kevin Hayes. Is that right, Kevin Hayes? Are you familiar with him?
I know the Hayes. Yep.
Yeah, great people. One thing he told me, he said, "Hey, when you decide to manage your business and you get off the brush, don't get lazy." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So he's telling me something that I might need to look out for. And so having the times when I have full days, like now that I have Paint Scout, I'm working on that like almost the whole day, like getting these things set in place, previewing them. Okay, they look pretty good. No, I need to adjust that. But on the days where it's slower for painters right now when it comes to how many leads and things are coming in, depending on what size business or model you have. I need to be sure I'm not getting lazy on those days. And now that I'm not having a brush in my hand for 8 hours plus a day, I could have the tendency to be like, it'd be okay if I took a day off. And I understand, okay, maybe it would be okay. But my goal is to fill my schedule, not to be busy so I can say I'm busy, but to be busy so I can be productive and get things done. So I would say that I'd say that'd probably be one of the big things is just watching, not being a sloth.
Yeah, that's saying don't get lazy is some of the most gut punchy, beautiful, simple ways to put. You need to now be accountable to yourself. And
Yeah.
it's so much different as even when I was a single master crafts person just out there painting every day, or I was painting with my crews, the eyes of my crews were still on me. And we had a start and a stop point. And what we did was very
Yeah.
tangible. We each take a bedroom. Let's see who can finish first. Like there's like some self accountability systems just in the way the job is
Right.
structured. But when you step outside of that, the tasks we kind of know what to do. They're a little bit ethereal. And now you need to figure out not only what to do, but then how to do it and then get it actually done. So that's like
100%.
don't get lazy is a very simple way of saying you can't be the same human. You have to be what a W-2 painter has to completely switch over how they think. And instead of boss man holding you accountable, you now need to hold yourself accountable, which is you can easily fall into a place of shaming yourself pretty hard in that sort of thing.
Sure.
So not easy.
Sure. And so that's why accountability, I made a post one day, like I really do thrive off it. There's a number of areas in my life where I feel like I'm locked in and I don't need anybody to say, are you doing this? Like I brush my teeth, like I treat my wife right. I don't need people to tell me to do certain things. But when it comes to, hey, are you going to the gym like you said you're going to? Are you? I have a goal to read my Bible every day. Are you reading your Bible like me and Jason Paris are on this kick right now with that, with staying consistent in that? But the same with, hey, you said you were going to get systems in place. Are you doing that? So accountability with you guys in the retreat and just through the PCA community, which I just love, and having Chris Moore with Elite Business Advisors, having them is a huge form of accountability. And they're nice, but they'll be rough on you if you need to. And I thrive in that.
Necessarily.
I used to think like, maybe, do I just need to be personally disciplined where I don't need people to check on me? I was like, well, if I'm weak in some areas, I think it's okay to say, I'm weak in this area. I need you to ask me about it. And so that has been huge for me.
Amzi, the duality of humans is crazy because I think each of us possess an area of life where we're so good and so accountable and so consistent that we should actually be helping others. And there's some areas of our life where we are just dreadful.
Yeah.
We are so inconsistent. We say we want to
Yep.
do something. We know we want to do something. We don't, that we have
Hmm.
to have help. And so it's really weird. Like, um, I absolutely deal in absolutes and extreme absolutes, and
Hmm.
almost every entrepreneur does too. You do too, and it's come to that realization, like we're not one single thing. We're not ultra consistent and then not consistent. You know what I mean? Like we're
Hmm.
not two humans. We have a little of that in each of us, and it's such a weird thing to
Hmm.
suss out. Like what's over in this column, what's over in this column, and why the hell does that happen? Like that is so weird.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking about being consistent, you mentioned a morning routine. How do you start your day, and why do you start it that way?
So you're a dad. I'm a dad. I have three boys. Um, the long gone are the days of painting all day and estimating all evening. I will not do that again. I value my family. I value my legacy. I value my wife way too much to continue that anymore. So my routine is my routine starts actually the night before, of course, because if you don't go to sleep on time, you're not going to want to wake up early. So I try to be in bed between 9 and 10. Most of the time, it happens. If I had no kids living at my house, I feel like I would be extremely consistent with that. But they come downstairs. They need to use the bathroom. They need to
Yep.
tell you this one thing, like, "Hey, did you know that turtles have 13 moons on their back?" I'm like, "Awesome, thank you. Go back to bed."
Dude,
Or
perfect
they
time.
need
I was just wondering. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. I was literally about to ask Siri
Yeah,
that.
I know, right?
Um, so, bed between 9 and 10 at night, and then I used to do 5:30 wake up for multiple years, and then it became the point where it's like it's still not enough time. So,
Yeah.
5 a.m. wake up for me. So I use strict standard I have for myself. I'm a Christian man, and I like to read my Bible. It's something that a discipline that I've always wanted to build into, but I didn't really grow up reading the Bible. I was in and out of church a little bit, so get up first thing, read a few chapters, have some coffee, and I just put this standard on myself of no Bible, no breakfast. So I'm going to read my Bible first. You could look at it as your spiritual life needs this, your body needs physical food. I
Yeah.
consider them the same thing. So I'm going to do this thing first, then I'm going to eat some breakfast, and then after that, it's one thing I'm working on with our advisors is I've never done a like 1 week or 2 week long schedule for the painting crew to see. I'm still they typically know 2 3 days in advance where they're at, because we don't have a ton of jobs going on at once. But so I'll talk to the crew in the morning through company cam, working on switching that over actually really quickly, getting them a 1 or 2 week schedule put in place. But
Nice.
yeah, after that, help my wife get the boys up. We when it comes to gender roles, both of us do a whole lot of everything. And so I get them up. I cook breakfast every single morning for everybody. I help get the boys dressed, and then they're off. And then usually, well, now I might hit the gym first thing. But if I have some PM work to do, I'll go to that first. Or if I have an early morning 8 a.m. or 7:45 estimate, I'll go do that first. And then I tried to meal prep as much as I
Mm.
can. I'm trying to eat very clean. I lost 30 pounds recently,
Yeah,
and
you did.
I've been a string bean my whole life. People would still be like, "You're still skinny," but I've been very skinny my whole life. And then I became a dad and put some weight on, and so I've been trying to get in the gym and just build some muscle. The only reason I've had muscle in the past is because there was zero fat on my body, and
Mm.
so so now I have to work on that. And I actually really love it. I love the challenge. I love the standard of doing that. But and that's kind of the routine. And then after we get home with the family, typically it's homework and it's dinner, and then it's at least an hour of playtime. And with the snow
Oh,
coming in, we're going to get a whole lot of sledding in, I hope.
dude, that's awesome, man. So,
Yeah.
like, outside of the routines and all that other stuff, what gives you energy outside of entrepreneurship?
Yeah. I would say I legacy is really big for me. So I believe the way I treat my kids now, what they see out of me, I will see in them in 5 or 10 years, or when they have a family one day. So that is very top of mind for me. I'm super involved in my church. I love doing
Mhm.
that. I've done that here at the same church. I'm actually in one of the rooms right now because I thought it would be quiet here, which is hard to find nowadays. So I actually lead worship. I lead worship for my church. I have again for about 12 years. Last year I stopped being a youth pastor. I did that same church for 10 straight years. on top of starting a business. And part of the reason we grew last year and going into this year is I just have more time available now to do that. They talk about burning a candle from both ends. It's like I was a candle with a wick all the way around it. And I was just burning from all sides, really.
Well,
It was a
Anthony,
healthy thing.
real quick
Yeah.
on that thing, like you talked about it at the retreat, and not every, it doesn't happen very often, but I get exposed to either a new idea or a new kind of derivation of something that we've all known in the industry. And it really, most of the time, the advice from the general painting community or people we love is you need to get more involved in faith, more involved in the community. And it really
Sure.
it really stopped me in my tracks of listening to your ask, where you said you stopped that and it allowed
Yeah.
you to do some other things. And did you struggle with that decision?
Yeah. Yeah. It was difficult. I had the same feeling in that, like I had when I got off the brush painting, like I had when I left the military.
Yeah.
There's this part of you that feels like a deserter. I have this core group of people that I have led, that I've been a part of, and now I'm saying goodbye to them. It is difficult. And it wasn't
Very.
fun. I felt pretty emotional about it for about 2 months. And
Wow.
I'm to the point now, I still miss the military most of the time. Just because of I loved what I did, and I loved those rotten guys so much. Those guys I loved them. I loved every part. All the guys that I served with. But also, I love teaching youth. I love being involved in their life. I love seeing them go from grade middle school and graduate. I've seen a number of groups of them off, and I still have a relationship with them. But yeah, it wasn't easy. But what I saw happening was work all day on Monday, come home, message prep for Wednesday night in the evening, go to work on Tuesday, come home, message prep that night, go to work Wednesday, come home, teach at youth on Wednesday. So essentially 3 days every single week where my family had limited access to me. And there comes a point where I say, okay, I can either do 4 or 5 things in my life at 25% good, or I can cut a few of them out and be really good at those few things. And that's what it was for me.
Oh no, Amzi! Oh my God, he was on a roll. He'll be back here in just a second, folks. His internet has been kind of here and there, so he'll be dropping in just a second. But we're gonna bring this conversation home. Thank you for everybody for watching here. Great time to share this in your feed, share this in your story. I'll probably hit Amzi with one more question, one more comment, and then we'll call it a day here. I want to spend a little time with the family, get some things done around the house too. So give it a couple seconds here for Amzi to rejoin, and we'll do that. So I will take this time as well to remind you of the PCA Expo. That is our Super Bowl. It's coming up in February here. There's a link in the show notes to this thing too. I believe, I can't say for certain. I know there are scholarships to go to this thing. They may already have been all awarded, but check the PCA's website to see if there's any links for that. And like Amzi said too, we both share the background of being a veteran. There are free membership, PCA memberships for veterans as well too. And occasionally you'll find something of mine with a link there, but certainly the PCA's website, it either has it as a headline up top, like supporting our veterans or veteran memberships, or there is a link in there. If you are a veteran and if you've never been a PCA membership, guys like Amzi and I would love to see you there, because we have a certain background, just like paint business entrepreneurs and master craftspeople have a similar background, where we don't need to start out about, you do that for a living? What's that like? When you combine the peanut butter and chocolate of military service, master craftspersonship, the skill of painting, and then paint business entrepreneurship, you share some pretty deep bonds with people. So it's going to be an absolute awesome thing here. I will give Amzi about 60 more seconds. Otherwise, we'll bid him a fond farewell. But I think he's just rejoining here. We'll get him in here for one more. And if you guys got any questions for me or Amzi, drop them here. We'll probably be on for another 5 minutes or so. But both of us will be in the questions and the comments after patrolling this stuff. So there's the man here. We got a countdown. We're going to get him back up here. Man, you were on a roll.
Yeah. So who knows what I was saying at this point? I'm not sure why the connection's so bad, but I have 2 or 3 bars in and out.
Well, you were just talking about stop being a youth pastor, and your church cut your internet service off. So
yeah, exactly. That's what it was. Like, get him out of here. Yeah, if you want me to continue that, or is that okay to
Yeah, you were,
continue with
dude, you
that?
were on a roll there, and you were kind of talking about giving up youth pastorship to spend more time with your family, and you were just bringing that kind of
Yeah.
idea, rounding that one out. Yep.
Yeah, what I don't want to happen ever, and I would quit my business tomorrow if it meant my family succeeding. Nothing's off the table for me, and I'm serious about that. Um, I don't want my kids to grow up one day to say, "Dad was always at the church," or "Dad was always at Six Day
Mhm.
Paint Co." Where was he? I think there's a lot to be said for my kids seeing me working hard and say, hey, Dad worked really hard, and so now I have a strong work ethic as well. But I didn't want resentment to grow into them. And let's just say Dad was at the church, so when I get older, I'm never going to church, or I don't want a relationship with God because God stole my dad away from me. Things like that.
Mhm.
That's what I was trying to avoid. And also, I'm 37. The tenure of a youth pastor is usually like 2 or 3 years, and I did it for 10 years. But there was fruit from it. I had a great relationship with the kids and things like that. So one of my friends is in charge of it now, one of my best friends, and he's doing an awesome job.
Dude, that's awesome, man. And yeah, you're right. I never
Yeah.
really thought about that you're like an Olympic athlete. Like you got a series of prime years where you can connect
Yeah.
with the youth, because then outside of that, you're just this old war veteran
Totally.
that's got a bunch of kids and a painting business. And he's like, dude, what do you know, old man? You're 34. You don't know what it's
That's
like to
right.
be a kid, Meanwhile, nobody
Yeah.
knows better.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, last question for you.
Hmm.
So outside of the painting business, outside of the craft, professional pursuits, maybe even outside of the things you've been talking about here, is there a question or a topic or something that occupies a lot of your headspace? Something that we haven't talked about that's kind of just always bouncing around in there. Um, Always curious what other people spend their time ideating about.
I would say the one I've been focused on this month is just the whole idea of, and I think this would be true for you too. We are living right now in the days of the things that we used to hope and wish and dream for. And it's sobering. I was thinking about it this morning, and I'm a crier, and I don't care to cry in front of people. It doesn't bother me one bit. But maybe it'd be a good way to go out on this show. But I'm living in the things that I used to look at you or the Kuipers or
Yeah.
any paint company I looked at and be like, oh, it'd be so cool to do that. And then now I'm doing them, and now they're stressful, and now they're, do I really want to do this? But then I'm like, I would have killed 10 years
Yeah.
ago to be here now. And I've gotten a whole lot better about the whole comparison trap with not getting. Um, Nick has his own race to run in life. I have my own race to run. You're gifted differently than I'm gifted, and
Yeah.
so I have to do what works for my family and in my area. But just to go back and I know you do morning gratitude and things like that, and I do those in the mornings. I do them throughout the day, kind of just when I think about them. But just to stop and celebrate a win. Like, oh my goodness, I wanted to get over $300,000 in my business for 3 years. Like,
Yeah.
that's a long time to be really close to it and then not get it.
Yeah.
And then I go over it by $130,000, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's like,
Yeah.
this is what I used to think all day about. This is what I used to pray to God about. And now I'm here and I'm ungrateful. And so I'm learning to, I don't have it all figured out. I don't think anybody does. And I hope when I'm 75 one day, I'll still say I don't have it all figured out. But I'm just
Yeah.
learning my best to just practice gratitude and be thankful for. And the other side of it too is there's people either watching or listening or knowing us from a distance that would say, I would love to do that.
Yep.
And here I am, I get to do this. And so to be thankful that there's people that are wishing they could be in our places. Now, not everybody's called or gifted to do what we're doing. It's not that many people that should be entrepreneurs. We've seen the ones that think they are and they're not. And we don't usually hear from their paint company after a year or two any longer. But that's just one thing that's been rolling around in my dome lately is just to continue to be thankful for all the things that kept me up late at night or the things I used to daydream about. I'm doing most of them now. And if you would have asked me, do you think you'll do these? I would say maybe, but I would have never put a guarantee on it. And so, yeah, I dreamed about living where we're living. It's not a crazy awesome house or anything, but we have land. I've wanted land for years, and so um, we have it now. We have 26 acres, and we went from a half acre to 26, and it's everything I dreamed about. And so I'm doing that. I'm living that now. So my goal is just to be keep that top of mind and just to be thankful. And I think doing that will keep us humble.
You guys know why Amzi's here. I call on him as an opener for the retreat, and he knocks it out of the park. I call on him as a closer for Ask a Painter. He knocks it out of the park. You're right there with you. And your story, what you think about, how you act, your actions is the epitome of all the good things that are going on in this industry of just people just trying to make their way through personal and professional life. And these wonderful painting businesses and communities around them
Yeah.
are just like such a beautiful thing to have around. Because like you started this whole thing with entrepreneurship is lonely, it always is. Now that we're not lonely, we do realize how stupid that is, but it's necessary journey, and that's what's important.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
man. Well, Amzi, you know how much I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Am I going to see you at Expo?
I'm not. I'm not going. I was this close. And so I was telling somebody the other day. I was like, if somebody asked me if I'm going to Expo, I'm not going to be like, no, I don't have time. No, we're just financially, we're not. We did the retreat, and to
Yeah,
go to that and take more time off. But we if whenever the one of the residential conferences comes back up, I'll definitely be going to that. But I know the
we'll be doing
Expo
that.
is the Super Bowl, and I really want to go. But I probably won't this year. No.
Next time, man. Appreciate you, Amzi. All right, everybody. Great time to like, subscribe, share. As my kids say, smash the like button or whatever you kids
That's
do.
it.
And, just share
That's
this.
it.
Find some more Amzis out there. Let's again. This is a lonely pursuit. Get it out there. This thing can be a little lighthouse. We're all kind of like little moths to the flame, and we'll all find
That's
each
right.
other. And it's a wonderful thing. So, Amzi, take care, man. Have a good rest of the
Awesome.
Friday. Enjoy that family time, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Bye.